Hello there, my name is Cranky Calamari and welcome to the Obsidian Order SMP. Get it? Am I dumb? Yes. Was that a stupid joke? Yes. But I'm very happy about the apiary that we built in the last episode. I feel like that brings so much life to this little area of the town here. And I don't want to stop with the apiary. Today, I want to build another build, and specifically this guy right here, the super large building. I'm thinking maybe another factory, right? This seems like the factory area. We got the mud factory, we got the honey factory. Maybe we should make like a bamboo and baked tater factory. That's what I'm thinking, right? Because right now, this is my last stack of steak, okay? I need food in my life. I do have a lot of croppages up here in the highlands area, but to be completely honest, I use these wheat fields to make the mud bricks. Like, I really don't use it for food. And even if I did use all the wheat, I would only have like 2 stacks of bread. Which in a world where I'm constantly in a digging project or constantly in a building project or going from place to place in the world, it's important to have more than 2 stacks of food. And plus it's slow on the regeneration because I'm never really up here. I'm usually down here building and stuff. So I think having a baked tater farm or factory right there would be the best bet. Would be a really good idea. Which, truthfully, I don't have a lot of good ideas, so I'm happy that this one sprouted. Now, before I get into officially building that building, I want to show you this. Because last episode, when I decorated the interior of this building and made it look somewhat beautiful, I totally forgot to show off my basement. Now, it's not done yet, but if you go down here, watch your head on the pipe, the overhanging pipe. You can hit your head on that thing, just like every basement in the United States. If you go down, you got to watch out for the hanging pipe. Why does that exist, by the way? Don't pipes usually belong in walls? Why are they so low hanging? Maybe I'm just too tall? Anyway, long story short, I have a storage room now. Nothing is organized. It's all just kind of thrown in here. But I have a place where I can conduct business, get ready for the next project, and even enchant if I need to. Nothing fancy, but I thought I'd show this part off. What I want to do here is I want some sort of like generator or furnace area here. Something that tells a story, right? It's powering the entire building. And instead of building it myself, I think I have another idea, but it requires another order member. And if you would have guessed that that order member would have been Corgi, you would have been wrong. Joke's on you. I don't know why I came here. No, the person that I am paying a visit today, of course, is Ander. If you haven't seen his videos, I highly recommend it. His channel is going to be in the description below. He's doing like a spaceman theme with a little bit of alien-esque vibe. It's beautiful. The storytelling is great, and I can't wait to see what happens in the next episode. I'm going to try to avoid spoilers while I'm here, but what I'm here for is this guy right here. Now, of course, this guy is a little bit too big to put into the basement, but this is his power generator. This is what's powering his whole entire space station. Why did I stutter that one? So he's got wires going up this way, up that way, and then it's plugged in over to that section right there. And that's what's powering his frog lights that he has hidden all over the place, which is super sick. I love a little bit of storytelling with this kind of stuff. Now, what I'm thinking is maybe we can shrink this down. I'll have to get with Ander, and we'll have to shrink this down to basement size. So what I did is I put in a little bit of a formal request here for a mini power generator for the embassy. And I also said, you will be compensated. Do I know what we're going to pay? No. Do I know how to spell compensated? No. But I think that's the way it's spelled. God, I hope Ander doesn't think I'm dumb. More than he already does. Hi-ya! Ha-ha! Yeah. I'll be completely honest with you. I'm both like happy am pissed off that we have slimes in our little hole here. Because here's the cool thing. It brings the world a little bit of life and a little bit of movement. When I see a slime jumping around, I'm like, ah, okay, at least it's populated in some way, shape, or form. But then I see a slime jumping around and I'm like, it's a hostile mob. It's gonna hurt me. And that's annoying. But I have a good constant source of slime balls. Not that it's incredibly necessary. We do have a slime farm. But it's nice to not have to travel 100 blocks in either direction to get those slime balls. Anyway, long story short, I am done blabbering. And I think the beginning of this episode has been productive enough. We really haven't done much now that I think about it. But I do want to get started building this guy. So what I think the first thing I want to do is build the villager farm, the AFK villager farm, which is pretty self-explanatory, so I'm not going to time-lapse it. But here is what it looks like afterwards, I guess. Yeah, there you have it. Simple sauce. Actually, not hard at all, to be completely honest with you. It's just a platform in the sky, and then the hardest part was getting the villagers up from the highlands over here. But even that, remarkably, because I usually have the hardest time with villagers, that was super simple. But it's a very simple setup. Once this guy grows up and he turns into a farmer, because there is a composter right there, he will then harvest all of these potatoes and then even plant them and all that fun stuff. And what he'll do is try to pass those taters off to the Fletcher man here. I don't know if he has to be a Fletcher, but I've never actually played with Fletchers before. It's actually kind of cool. You can get bows from him. I don't know why I'm surprised. It's a very logical concept, but it's kind of cool. Anyway, he's going to pass the taters over to the Fletcher guy, but it's never going to get to him because of these hopper minecarts right here. And the hopper minecarts are just hooked up to a hopper line right below it. So then they'll end up in this hopper right here. Very easy and self-explanatory, but I'm really excited that we have the bones up. So now we can start working on the skeleton. But the bones and the skeleton are the same thing. Bad reference. Anyway, long story short, I wanted to do a little bit of a test because I don't actually know how hoppers work, but I'm pretty sure this is how it works, right? So for example, if I have a bunch of bamboo, I was thinking maybe this building could be a bamboo farm and a tater farm. So what would be cool is if I can stop the bamboo from getting to the smoker right away, and instead go into this chest right here so I can collect bamboo as well. So what I'm thinking, this is the test, if I put bamboo into this hopper line right here, what'll happen is it'll go into this hopper, then go into this hopper, and instead of going into this hopper, it should sink down into this one and go into this chest. Hey! And nothing should have ended up in this smoker. Sick! Now, test number 2 is if this hopper is full. We'll go ahead and take this out because it's not really important to the test. But if this hopper right here is full, then the bamboo should then go into the smoker, right? It should not go into this hopper, or it should not get stuck in here, right? We'll throw in a couple here. Then it should go hopper, hopper, hopper. Then rather than going down, it should then go left into this hopper, and then into the smoker. Okay, so I understand how hoppers work. Thank you for coming along with me in this process. I'm glad we learned a little bit today. It's probably just me learning stuff today, but I'm still happy that it happened. Seriously, what's the odds of this? Look at that! I just was building the rest of this farm area here, and then this guy comes along and's giving me some bamboo blocks. Obviously, I had to take advantage of the situation. Right? It's like a sign was placed right in front of me. Thank you, the gods of Minecraft. But that's right. This is officially done. Let me kind of give you the walkthrough and show you how everything is placed together. Obviously, I used a bunch of hoppers, and I think I used it for 2 reasons. 1, we have a plethora of iron on this server. I don't think that's much of an issue. And 2, listen. See? Very severe lack of minecart, which I'm really excited about. So now we don't have to walk around and hear. We can just hear this guy working along. Listen. Oh, I love it. When this guy works on this fletching table, it sounds phenomenal. So let me give you a run through of how this system works. We kind of already know how this one works. He's throwing the taters are getting picked up, taters are dropping down into this line of hoppers, which is then siphoning into specifically this smoker first. You can see we've accumulated some. Do I think we're gonna need 8 smokers worth? I don't think so. This farm isn't that incredibly fast. I've been working on this for about an hour now, and we just have just under 4 stacks. So I think it's going to be more for aesthetics than anything, but I'm okay with it. On the back side here, we have a hopper chain that's hooked up to a simple observer piston farm. So every time the bamboo grows 3 blocks high, it'll hit this observer, trigger these redstone bits, and those pistons will break off the bamboo. And that will siphon into this hopper line right here, which will first go down here and over here into this chest. So we can accumulate a lot of bamboo. And I think that's really important because if we ever decide to do a build like this again, we're going to need a whole lot of bamboo. This almost broke me. With this machine here, something like this is possible in the future. But once this line fills up with bamboo, it will then get siphoned out into this hopper line, eventually getting to this smoker right here, which will cook the potato. And then when the potato cooks, it will go down into these hoppers, into this single chest. Do I need a double chest? Absolutely not. A single chest is perfectly fine. But you can see we now have, or will have, whenever the system fills up, a lot of baked potatoes. But now I think there's only one thing left to do, and that is to make sure that this thing is prettyified. It looks pretty Uggs McGugs right now, but when I'm through with it, I think it's gonna look pretty beautiful. We're gonna use a lot of techniques that I learned from the mud factory over here into this one. It's gonna match very much that mud factory, but I'm gonna do some things a little bit differently. Let's see if you can key in on it in the time lapse. Enjoy. Stupid bamboo! It got in the way of my time lapse! Half the time lapse, you guys were actually behind the bamboo, couldn't even see what I was building. So you're welcome for the most janky time lapse you've ever seen, but it is now completed! Look at this! Ain't it beautiful? You can see I went with the same theme that I did with the mud factory in the back, built with a bunch of mud bricks and a lot of spruce, which I think looks super cool. But I've done some very, let's say, adventurous additions into this build, kind of like this overarch over the front here, this weird looking pillar thing. I did a wheelbarrow out front, which I think is really cool. I found this on Google, which is super sick. And then I found a barrel of potatoes. Does it look like a barrel of potatoes? I think it does. I think it's the closest thing. And if you use your imagination, squint your eyes, you can see potatoes. And then over on this side, I did a little bit of decoration with bamboo. I wanted to be able to see what this building is from the outside. And I think between this right here and this little sawmill area of the bamboo going inside of the building, I think you could definitely tell that this is going to be a bamboo building. I could put some more bamboo around the outside here, make it look a little bit cooler, but for now, I think this looks super sick. And then around the back side, I did have to make a large tower of mud here. I think that turned out pretty well, though. On the back side, I have a warehouse section where we have these big garage doors, and some bamboo hanging on a line here. I like to think that if I come over here and I pull down the chain, that I can lower and raise these bamboos and then somehow fit them inside the garage building. It just adds a little bit. I don't know. I like it. I think it adds a little bit of decoration. I'm a fan. And then around this side, I have a house, okay? So here's the thing. Here's the big kicker. I want you guys to use your imagination, okay? Use and abuse it, okay? I don't want to trap those villagers up in the farm. So I thought if we use a little bit of imagination and we give them a house, technically he's not trapped. Like, he can't leave, don't get me wrong. It's not like he can open up this gate and then get out here. But if we use our imagination, he could come out here whenever he wants, and he's got a rent-free villa. Same thing with this guy in here. He's got a little bit of a gate. He can't actually get into his room here. But I like to think that if he wanted to, he could technically come out here, get some shut-eye, come out onto the back balcony, and look down the main street or over at the Capitol building. I think this, it's a little bit of storytelling. Like I said, he's not actually going to be able to come out here, but I like to think that he could. You know what I mean? So we're not just evil people here. There's some big things, though, I didn't want to block. Like, for example, I like this alleyway, and I wanted to be able to see the big mud sign from the main street here. So as I'm walking past, I'll be able to look down this alley and see that there is a mud factory back there. I definitely wanted to keep that open, and it's nice and framed here at the end of that alley. But if I go down here, you can see that there is another alley off of this way, which, like Sunfire was saying, the more condensed the alleys, the better, and it's going to make it feel more like a city when you're actually walking through. So I wanted to make this nice and narrow here, so if I wanted to go into the clay farm, I could, or if I wanted to just go around this bit and go into the mud factory, I could as well. But the big thing I wanted to do is frame the Capitol building as well, which I think this is perfect. Really, I wanted to go out one more block with the house right here off to the side, but if I went one more block, it would have obstructed the spire here on the Capitol building, which is something I definitely don't want to do. As I'm coming around this bend here, what's going to happen is there's going to be a building right here, so I wouldn't be able to see the Capitol building. But when I come around this bend, that's just going to appear, and it's going to become it's going to have like a siphoning effect. It's going to make me want to go towards this area here. So the fact that this is not in the way definitely helps. As far as the interior goes, we're gonna need a little bit of work. I haven't truly gotten down and done the interior yet, but we got our potatoes cooking, we got our bamboo chest here, and we got a nice little sawmill here. I showed you that before. Back here, absolutely nothing but a place where we could put up like a workshop or something. I'm thinking about keeping the hoppers visible, because it almost looks like air ducts in some way, which I actually like. And then over here, maybe I could have like a manual bamboo farm, because there's a big issue with the bamboo farm up above. The issue being, this is not a big enough bamboo farm to supply enough fuel to cook the baked potatoes. The supply of baked potatoes is outweighing the amount of fuel that we're actually getting. In fact, if I go down here and look into that smoker, you can see nothing's actually cooking because it just burns through the bamboo so fast. So what's happening is I get about 2 or 3 bamboo in here at a time. So if I put 2, you can see I don't even bake 1 potato. So I would need roughly, let's do the math here. If I think if I put in 3 here, it'll cook a full potato. Not even 3. You're going to need 4 bamboos to cook a full potato. So this farm up here is definitely not big enough. When we update to the next update and they have auto crafters, it might behoove me to siphon all of this down and make blocks of bamboo and then put it into the smokers. I think that's going to be what we have to do, or find a way to fill this whole entire building up with just automatic bamboo farms. But y'all, I think I am done for today. This project took a long time. I built this both in creative and in survival, so it took double the amount of time that it would normally take, but I'm super glad that I did, because I was able to flesh out the ideas like these chimneys, all these trap doors, giving these things balconies, all these extra details, and I gotta say, I love how it ultimately turned out. I'm so excited and can't wait to show you guys. It's so beautiful, and it's adding so much personality to the city. I can't wait to get more buildings up and see what it looks like afterwards. Anyway, guys, I can't wait to see you guys in the next episode. I have a big one planned. We're going to get a community build in here, and we're going to do some fun competition stuff, which I'm really excited. But you're going to have to subscribe if you're new to the channel so you can get notified when that video comes out. Like and comment on this video if you want to see more. Love you guys to death. I'll see you in the next episode. Skeleton Horse!